All right, welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. 4 reviews up this week. The first of which is Crimson Tactics: The Rise of the White Banner. Crimson Tactics brings you an epic adventure in the form of a turn-based tactical RPG. Set in a medieval high fantasy world, witness a massive political disruption through the lives of different characters and fight for the fate of Wendale. Right. So to zero in on that term, tactical RPG, yes, this is an actual RPG, not a just, a straight on tactical game. You know,
Looks like it wants to look like Final Fantasy Tactics a lot.
Yeah, like the game makes no bones about that. In fact, in further down this PR list here, Crimson Tactics is heavily influenced by games like Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre. It brings in a new twist on those classics, as well as new improvements and additions to the tactics genre. So, yeah, it's not exactly hiding its principal influences or anything. But I just want to clarify that, yeah, this is a tactical RPG and not it's Fire Emblem. It's not Advance Wars.
Even Fire Emblem was pretty on the tactical side.
Now,
in terms of, because to me at least, one of the big distinctions is how much distinction each individual unit has.
I'm like,
and how much distinction and advancement each unit has. And while the last couple of Fire Emblem games have had more of that, historically the series has been a little bit on the low end compared to Final Fantasy Tactics, particularly.
Or Tactics Ogre. Like,
I've never played that, but I understand it's sort of similar.
Yeah. Now, see, here's the thing. You can have it either way, though. It literally presents you with the option at the beginning: tactics mode or strategy mode. Tactics mode, well, you'll play it like Advance Wars. You just do the battles. But strategy mode, that's where you get all the customization that you equip characters and you
more rotate stuff between battle too.
Yeah, craft all that stuff. Now, I will note I didn't get far enough into the game to get to the strategy elements. It's actually a few battles in, and I was struggling with the battle, and before I had to stop playing to move on to the next set of games. I mean, it's a tactical RPG, people. It's the kind of game where you can very easily absorb dozens to hundreds of hours in. Well, I'm not sure about, Mm-hmm. Yeah. My point is, we usually don't have enough time to really delve into the deepest bits of an RPG. Not even getting to a tactical RPG, because that's like RPG squared or cubed. Because it's not a party of up to 4. Your starting party is 8 to 10 units, and they all got to move. So I do want to preface that. But I still spent about 6 hours with the game, which I think is enough to get a handle on the tactical portion of the game, which is probably the most important part here. And how do I put this? I've been wrestling with it for a few days now. I'm like, it's a solid enough tactical RPG that I don't like playing. And what do I mean by that? It's the way I play tactical RPGs versus how this game operates, both in its mechanics and its AI, apparently. Like, so if you do go in expecting like actual Fire Emblem or something along the, it's not that. It operates more on a point. It operates on a point system. More like, say, the Shadowrun games. I know it's not high fantasy, but the Shadowrun tactical RPGs are very much point based, and what you can do in a given turn is based on the number of points you have. It's that case here. Like if you can move great swaths of distance, but your actual attack range is very limited, like shockingly limited. And that's going to affect the way you play the game. And that's where I was having my problems. Because honestly, I'm much more used to like Fire Emblem, or especially Shining Force, where I can, when I move a place, I can do an action. I don't have to worry about having enough points. It's something I can do better in Shadowrun, but that might be because I'm more acquainted with that style in Shadowrun versus high fantasy. What I'm saying is this is kind of a me problem, not the games. But it is there. The other thing is the AI is shockingly aggressive. Like, it's not an AI that really hangs back. And that's what was really giving me the problems in the battle I was having, because I'm in a tactically bad position. Like, I'm in the center of a town square. And they have the fucking high ground.
Can you use the fact that they're aggressive? Like, does it make them predictable? Can you use that to try to bait them into things?
I was trying to do that, and sort of, but it's like there was no real way to have like half their fucking army come down. But I think that it's the way that particular battle was going, because they have objectives, and like the first few objectives is just kill the enemy force. Here it's like targets 2 specific units. But once again, what this game wanted me to do was running afoul of how I play tactical games. And I didn't have enough time to reacclimate either. I mean, that's the thing. But like I said, it's a solid enough tactical RPG on its mechanics. Like, if you played a tactical strategy game, you know how this plays, more or less. It's not really reinventing the wheel in most regards. Though the thing that this game seems to be doing differently in that regard, and like the thing that they're really touting, is the mounts. Because they have mounts in this game, and like they're their own units. Like the example you're given to in the prologue is you have a soldier riding a dragon, and you learn all about how you deal with the mount mechanics, which is not too far removed from any other soldier. It's just mounts are a lot bigger.
Right.
And like may have a breath weapon or magic or something like that. But healers are healers, mages are mages, that kind of thing. Rain, I guess another interesting thing is even the knights have a ranged attack. It's practically
I guess
useless.
you can throw a javelin or use a bow.
Nothing that high. You throw a rock.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about as impressive as that. It's like it'll do a bit of damage, but it's not like if somebody's critical. And that's another thing about tactical RPGs, or how you should be approaching them, or at least how I approach them. You're going to want to focus your army on a unit. This is a bit of advice I got out of a strategy guide one time. Enemies do the same amount of damage, whether they have 1 hit point or 1,000 hit points. So,
as is traditional for video games,
right? Unless you're based off of at least old school AD&D games where they actually had the mechanic of if you hit a magic user, they would forget their spell, which is an actual AD&D mechanic. So,
yeah, concentration check fails. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, in your regular ass video games, even something like this, you want to take out the units so they have less units. Like, and of course, there's also the prioritization. If you can, you're going to want to aim for the mages and the priests, but usually those, though, even with an AI as aggressive here. Also, another thing this game apparently runs on is a variable difficulty, which I hate. It's a performance-based logarithm. The better you do, the harder the game gets, and the worse you do, the worse the game gets, or the easier it gets. Like, I've never really enjoyed that. It's like, let me either set the difficulty or let me pick. Now, another pet peeve of mine. Like, anyway. And yeah, I think that's about it in my summary. Graphically, it looks very impressive. Very clean. Probably not too much above what you get on what you could do on the PlayStation outside of, having HD graphics. Basically, graphically, it's a solid presentation here. Audio is also similarly solid. Not amazing. There's a lot of low-key God choir. A lot of Latin indistinct chanting in the soundtrack. But it's enough where I actually purchased the soundtrack along with the art book. They were not included in my copy. So, congrats there. And yeah, in terms of pricing, the game clocks in at $30. And also there's the soundtrack and art book for $4.99 each, $9.98. Like, Not sure how much the digital deluxe edition is because I already have the game and it doesn't show me that price. But is this game worth $30? Emphatically, yes. It may not raise to the heights of the legendary juggernauts of the genre, but it's a solid enough strategy game, strategy RPG, especially on the PC where this style of game is less common than it should be. Or rather, would you, Square Enix, why haven't you ported Final Fantasy Tactics yet? No, seriously, why haven't they done that? They did a modern port for fucking mobile.
I think I recall hearing that some of the coding in that game is really, really janky.
That might be it. But I mean, it's not stopped them from, say, remastering Romancing Saga.
Fair.
Or Saga Frontier, for that matter.
They literally had to rebuild Kingdom Hearts 1 because they didn't have any of the source code. So yeah, there's no excuse. They should just get on it.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, yeah, Crimson Tactics, The Rise, The White Banner, it's a solid hand. And if you like this kind of game, you can't go wrong with it. I don't think it's on consoles yet. Let me just do a bit of live research here too, because I think this is PC only right now. Yeah, as far as I can see, it's just on PC right now. I can foresee that changing in 2024. What I'm getting at is this is probably a really good buy for the Steam Deck. Because I think we've seen over the past 20-ish years that tactical RPGs are really good on the portable side. Just think, how well has this genre flourished on, say, the DS and the 3DS?
I was about to say fucking Fire Emblem.
It was going pretty well for a while.
It hadn't got a physical release again since the Switch on consoles.
Yeah. If I were a betting man, I would stake money on this game coming to the Nintendo Switch next year. That is not confirmation, or I know their plans. It's just...
Yeah, I was just about to say, is that anything confirmed, or is that just speculation?
That is speculation, but it is what I would logically do.
Yeah.
As an indie developer that has a tactical strategy game.
On the system that thrives with tactical strategy games. Again, looking over you, Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Right then. So any other questions, comments, or concerns about Rise of the White Banner here?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I asked my questions.
Okay. All right then. So yeah, that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan will be reviewing Gunhead.